Hello, Star Wars. Today I'll be reading another entry from the ForcePositive blog. Our Actors, Episode 1, The Shameful Rejection and Grateful Return of Ahmed Best. For decades, the vast majority of hateful and negative fan anger has been directed towards the actors who bring Star Wars to life. Heroes in Hollywood, creatively generous, and innocent actors have been caught in horrid bullying, hate, and even death threats. Ahmed Best, Ashley Eckstein, Hayden Christensen, Daisy Ridley, Kelly Marie Tran, Moses Ingram, Mandela Stenberg, these actors deserve common human decency, respect, and appreciation. Today's opening entry in ForcePositive's Our Actors series will highlight the greatest comeback story of Star Wars actors. Once driven by dark side Star Wars fans to the lowest, loneliest, and self-hating place, the light side positive and grateful majority made their love and appreciation for the actor known through continuous, highly visible displays of affection. The tangible and continued many-year resiliency of this call by the positive majority for redemption of the once driven-away actor led Star Wars creative decision-makers to bring the actor back. The best and most inspiring example of how far the fan base has come in positive appreciation and embracing of a once wounded and shunned Star Wars actor is the case study of Ahmed Best's return to Star Wars. For those who don't know, Ahmed Best played the Gungan comic relief character of Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Ahmed Best not only portrayed the voice of Jar Jar, but he also performed the full motion capture on camera, meaning that when filming the standard scenes of all the actors playing human roles, Ahmed Best performed the movements and motions that would later be transformed into one of the first fully digitally animated characters in cinema history. Ahmed Best performed the slapstick physical acting that formed the basis for how the digital artist would bring Jar Jar to life. But to say that the prequels and the Phantom Menace were disliked upon release is a drastic understatement. The explosion of mockery, hate, and toxicity that followed the Phantom Menace's release is difficult to comprehend. In many ways, dark side Star Wars fans were first corrupted into this path of hate and suffering by the echo chambers of early internet chat rooms. While the early internet in the late 1990s spread word of mouth and hype like wildfire for the prequel trilogy and the Phantom Menace especially, so too was the toxic rejection spread like wildfire. In the first convulsion of this pattern we have now seen all too often, while these passionate early dark side fans were faced with a Star Wars story direction they didn't like, the principal target of hate was Jar Jar Binks. While George Lucas himself caught a massive amount of flack, the worrying and continuing trend arose where dark side Star Wars fans were unable to separate hating a creative decision with spewing hate at an actor and a character. If you were following blow by blow, moment by moment of the swirling hate campaign against the Phantom Menace, you could almost come away with the impression that Jar Jar himself made the prequels, and that Ahmed Best himself was to blame. In one of the earliest widespread incident of public cyberbullying, Ahmed Best was driven to what he has described as the lowest point of his life. To hear Ahmed Best's own words, I'll be reading an excerpt from a Deadline interview. Ahmed Best begins by saying, "There were already kind of preconceived ideas about it, and there is already bubbling under this online hatred. It was already being talked about even before the movie dropped." Unquote. The interviewer continues by saying, "The online hate only grew after the release of the film in May 1999. It came not just for Jar Jar as a character, but also Best, who received death threats over his performance." Ahmed Best continues by saying,